There is no billionaire that is not leveraged. When we say leveraged, I mean that is not using other people's money, loans. You must use other people's money, because if you want to grow, how much equity can you have to push your business to grow? Your biggest currency of business is your integrity. It's not naira, it's not dollars, it's not pounds. It is your integrity. Your word should be your bond. Character in everything. Even as bankers, it's not about how much money you have. We look at character. You can be so rich. Everybody knows that you have the capacity to pay that loan that you want to borrow, but we won't give you the money. Because first, understand that each person has his or her own calling, even when you're in the same industry. When we say the sky is large enough, people think it's just about market of superficial things. What that saying does is that we are all gifted differently. See, two tailors, two designers will create this shirt, but it will come out differently. And I always tell people, there is a buyer for everybody. If you want to stay original, stay to your craft. And one other tailor of mine, he made me learn something. One day he just said, madam can speak big English. So I had to go and perfect my pidgin, because those are tools I need to succeed. Success involves things as little as that, because I need to be able to communicate in a way that he would understand. To be able to do what I want. So I had to go and perfect my pidgin. So when I get into the workshop, I can drop all the posh English and move into pidgin. Everybody, then everything's there working. Because sometimes I'll just okay, no, here, madam, they speak big. And once that person tunes off, you've lost the person, and that job is not going to come out well. One thing that I've always heard about my brand is the originality. It's not just here. Of course, I do shows, international shows and all that. There is a buyer for your brand. Stop running from helter-skelter everywhere. Oh, they are doing corsets now, so you must do corset. Yes. No, be you.
Do you recommend taking a loan to expand business?
I'm a banker, so I will say yes. And I'm going to explain to you.
On today's episode, we sit with a woman who has proven that purpose and creativity can rewrite destiny. From the banking halls of Lagos to the runways of Parish and New York, she has built a brand that represents grace, excellence, and timeless African luxury. Today, we are going to be dissecting on her journey to success and how she has been able to build one of the most recognized fashion brands in Lagos, Nigeria. She's going to carry us through her journey and also teach you on how you can also be able to build your own timeless brand. This is Selahmeditate Podcast, where we bring you premium guests and discuss on topics and share their story that's going to transform you, impact you, and also elevate your mindset and help you achieve success in your own sphere of influence. I remain your very host, Benzik. But before I get into this interview, let me take a moment to read her abridged profile. Nonnistics is a Nigerian luxury fashion brand that celebrates dignity, strength, and grace through timeless, elegant designs. Known for emerging modern aesthetics with classic sophistication, the brand offers bespoke and ready-to-wear pieces for women, men, and children, all crafted with precision, creativity, and refined elegance. Having showcased at New York and Paris Fashion Weeks, Nonnistics has earned global recognition for its distinctive blend of modern silhouettes and handcrafted detailing. Its latest collection, Infinite Grace SS 2025, reflects the brand's vision of bold yet graceful luxury. Beyond fashion, Nonnistics gives back through initiatives supporting children's education and women's health across Africa with its signature colors, orange, black, and white. The brand stands for excellence, purpose, and timeless African elegance. So guys, so first time of coming to the channel, we do our best to bring you high calibers of guests like this. Take a moment to appreciate what we do here by hitting the like button so that this video can also be shared with other people. Turn on the post notification and subscribe to this channel if you're yet to subscribe. So make welcome my highly creative guest here, Nonye Goodie. Nonye, good luck, Nonnistics.
Thank you for having me.
It's quite a long journey. It's good. Yeah, great to have you today. Now, you started from the banking hall, and now you built one of the most recognized fashion brands, and you are doing excellently, marvelously well for yourself. Take me through the journey. Who was Nonye before Nonnistics?
Okay, my story is one of grace, like I always say. I don't think I've done anything that I actually planned out to do myself. So it has always been an invisible hand directing the course of my life. When I joined banking, even though I had passed the exam immediately after youth service, I wasn't expecting to be in the bank. I was young, just like other young people. I just was enjoying the flow at the training school, but something happened while I was in training school. I wasn't taking anything seriously. My referee, who was someone very close to our family, if I would call him my uncle, my dad's good friend, he was supposed to sign my reference. I didn't know better, and he held it back. Then I was young. I didn't understand why. I was crying. I'll never forget that statement when he said, "I'll do it when I want to do it." That day I cried, and I had to now get serious in the training school, in the banking training school. I didn't want to tell my parents or my siblings because I know how they would take it. For somebody that we all respect, and somebody that anytime he needs my dad's help, my dad rises up to it.
That's your uncle?
He's not blood uncle. He's almost like, my dad takes him as a brother, but he's not blood because my dad was only son. So anybody that my dad is close to, we call the person uncle. At that day, I said, I'm here. I better pass this training school, because if you don't pass the training school, then you not get the final offer. So that was what changed the course of my dreams. I studied computer science and mathematics in my first degree. So I really wanted to continue in that line. When it happened, I just told myself, better be serious. And that's how my banking career started. I worked through different sectors of the bank. I started from settlement banking, which is a part of the operations generally. From there, I moved into marketing. And I didn't move into marketing of my own accord, but the management thought, look, this girl will be a good fit in marketing. I had never done marketing before. But I got in there and found out that, and I did well till I left banking. I grew through the ranks. I did different sectors. I did retail banking, commercial banking, corporate banking, and at some point I started the Asian corporates in one of the banks I worked, Access Bank, which is where I had the most glowing part of my career. Before I left banking, I moved to another bank, which offered me enough time for my children. I had all my children in banking, so it's not easy. So I needed a place I could really have some kind of time to look after my children. That was what took me to the last bank I worked with, Bank PHP, now Keystone Bank. Banking teaches you a lot. But beyond what you see outside, banking is a place that you actually learn entrepreneurship. If you put your eyes down, because you're managing people, because you're dealing with people's finances, because you're giving counsel, practically you're a consultant. And outside Nigeria, like in America, they call what I did in banking as consulting. So you're talking to people about their businesses. You are dealing with people in retail, selling things in the market. You are dealing with mega businesses, people that are in port, people that are in oil and gas in the different sectors, in the downstream and in exploration. You're talking to people in government, parastatals. You're talking to people in energy, different sectors of the economy. So it exposes you to a lot. So you're learning freely from your customers. They tell you their issues and you have to provide solution. And the solution usually as a banker that you're providing majorly is financing. So I did a lot of project financing and kind of worked with some of those companies, especially with the government banking, because I did government banking, what we call public sector banking as well. And I was really blessed to have been exposed to those things. From the days of my banking, I knew that, look, I'm not going to spend the whole of my youth in banking. I'm going to leave at some point to do my own thing. I never saw myself retiring from banking. So it was that level of confidence does not come from the strength I think I have. Is because I totally believe, I've seen my journey, and I know that each step I take, that God is with me. And that's my name anyway.
What was life like in the banking?
I would say I had fun, but I had fantastic run with my bosses. They believed in me. I'm never going to stop saying it. I had my career good moments from GT Bank to Access Bank. In Access Bank, I was so blessed to have been a part of the team that actually started the bank when Imokbede and later Batuigwe, took over the bank. I was already reporting to them in Guarantee Trust Bank. So imagine being a part of starting something that has turned out to be one of the best banks in Africa today. I took challenges that were way beyond my grade at that time, and my management did not close eyes to that. They saw it, so they encouraged it, and I enjoyed it. I got the perks that follow good performance. Honestly, I had a good run in banking.
Now, based on how you sounded already, it shows that you had a good run in banking and you're enjoying your job. Then what was that defining moment that made you say, it's time to leave?
Okay, so let me tell you something. When I got my job in banking, young person, finished your service, Bank took me, and I called my dad. My dad is late now. I remember saying, I got a job, and he was happy. He said, congratulations, prepare for your exit. I mean, who tells the child that just got a job, say, congratulations, prepare for your exit? Because my dad was also a banker. At some point in his life, he also resigned from banking on his own to move into something else. So he has always believed that, like, you don't have to stay until you have dissipated all your energy. You are young, you have a lot going on in your head. And my dad was one person that always told me, you have a billion gifts in your head and you need to pull them out. I wish he was alive to see what is happening with me today. I gave myself a particular age, that when I get to that age, I should leave, because then I don't want to spend the whole of my youth in banking. When I worked with my second employer, we used to look at it as, 24-hour job. So I could be resting in my house and then I get a call, Nonye, we have a presentation and you're the one to lead in this presentation. And you jump out of your house on a Saturday and you're back to work. We used to host meetings 5 a.m. We worked across the night. I was always excited, like, okay, we're going for this budget, we need to do this, we need to do that. And part of that was because my husband has been so supportive of my career. We were both young, growing in his career, and he wanted me to grow as well. He gave me all that support. Like when I went to Access Bank, one instruction he gave me was, a lot is expected of you. This is a very dark board. I want you to pick the whitest chalk and write your name. And that's what I did. When you get to that point, it comes from within. Your heart, your whole system will start telling you what's else. And I have what is called a flighty feet. So you want to try something new. You want to do something new. I remember telling some of my colleagues, like, look, why can't I go out and do this? I love projects, and I get excited when people tell me about their projects, like, okay, I'm going to start this, I want to run this real estate, I want to move into maritime, I want to get this vessel, this is what I'm thinking. Honestly, I'm kicked by that. I'm like, I want to sit down with you and then I'm going to make it bankable. I'll just say, come, let me listen to you. What are your ideas? You see me putting them down in a manner that is bad, and I'll tell you, okay, this is what you do, this is what you do. So I get it, and when that project comes to life, I'm the most excited. So when I was leaving banking, that's actually what I was leaving banking to do. I just wanted to focus on infrastructure. And I always believed that for the country to really get that right, it has to be a partnership. It has always been like that in other countries. The government alone cannot do infrastructure. What the government needs to do is to create the enabling environment, the private sector to establish. So that synergy has to be there for it to work. Investing in Nigeria then wasn't something they were kicked about, even though investing in Nigeria and other African countries, because we have a lot of what is called green projects, gives you more return than the brown projects that in the West. When we say brown projects, I mean, they already are saturated, so you're just recreating what is already there. But in Africa here, you have a lot of green projects, you start from scratch, So I was really excited, but then different factors actually impede that for private sector. We still have a lot of people in Nigeria with very fantastic ideas, but the environment does not support them getting the appropriate funding to move forward. Yes, because I have some of those projects and the system is not just supportive of that.
But I mean, it wasn't in the plan at all.
It wasn't in the plan. I never saw myself doing fashion, but I love fashion. In the sense that I love looking good. I love seeing people looking good. So when I'm like driving with my husband and I see, oh my God, that lady is looking good. Oh my God, that guy is looking dapper, And then sometimes I critique without knowing. I'm like, oh, that dress is gorgeous, but they shouldn't have done it this way. If they had done it this way, it would have been more, I never knew that my husband was also taking note. And in my family, anytime we're having any event, everybody is waiting, whether my father's house or where I'm married. So everybody, till now, everybody is waiting. Okay, let her tell us, what are we going to wear? What style should we make? And all those things were coming naturally, but I never saw them as something that could transform into a business. I remember when I was younger, I could tell a tailor what to make for all my siblings, my dad, without any measurement. I'll just look at it and say, that fit is size 42. The pant length cannot pass 42 or 45 or 44, and the shirt length should not pass this. Without any knowledge. And when the tailor makes it, it comes out perfect.
It's more like a passion for you then.
So I didn't realize. So it was when I was consulting. Consulting, I'm always kind of consulting I was doing. I was cracking numbers, facing my laptop every day, cracking numbers, preparing projections, cash flows, and all those things. And one day I told my admin manager, I said, you know what? I need something soft by the side so I can see human beings. And I told him that, you know what? Anytime my husband carries us, I will go to a shawarma joint. You see plenty people. And it's so easy to make friends. Before you know it, you're chatting with somebody. And so I said, look, I want to do shawarma business. And then I didn't used to eat shawarma, funny enough. I said, because I don't eat it, maybe I would put popcorn by the side. I love popcorns. So that's how we started looking for a place. We're driving on Fola Oshibo one day, and my husband was like, oh, that looks like a mall coming up. So I told my manager, can you go there and find who owns it? And I tell them that, please, they should just rent us a portion on the outside. And he did. So we concluded, and I traveled. I went to spend kind of long vacation, because consulting you can do from anywhere. I came back. The place was ready, and boom, the landlord had built something in the space that we asked for. I was like, what kind of thing is this? And then, but he's a good guy. So, in Lagos, the money has entered, it has entered. He now gave us, it's okay, you should take a store, to my... I said, no, except, I was not trying, because I want to get my money back. So I was trying to give conditions that I know would be difficult. I said, no, except the store is in front, facing the road, everybody passing the road will see it, because I thought it was going to be very difficult to fulfill. And the next thing we got was yes. So that's how I got the space. When I got the space, I realized that I couldn't do shawarma indoor because of the fumes, the smoke that comes out of the coals. And I said, what will I do? I contacted my friend, who's like my sister, and she was like, what are you talking about? My friend, you that will come here and teach me how to style, you teach all of us fashion, everything. Let's go to Turkey, Joe. I'm going to Turkey. Until I said, but if I go, what will I do? I've never, done that before. He said, let's go. Because I actually used to go to her store and give her ideas. I had another younger friend that's also into retail fashion. So I remember when they sat in that one store, and people would come in and go out, say they didn't find what they wanted to buy. And I was looking at the rack, and I was seeing beautiful things. So the third person that walked in, I asked my friend, I said, do I have your permission? Can I talk to your customer? I said, yes, auntie, go ahead. So I now spoke to them. I said, please, do you mind if I style you? Even if you don't want to buy it. She said, yes. So I picked stuff. By the time I started with pairing different things, because her store was really complete, accessories and everything. And the lady saw herself, she couldn't believe it. She spent all the money she came with. That time POS wasn't common, so she had to rush to the ATM to get more money. And I told my friend, I said, look, clothes don't look good on the hanger. They are meant for human bodies. And from that time, and I'm like, okay, there's so many beautiful things. So I got some advice from my younger friend. I said, look, I'm going to Turkey and I'm going alone. How does it work? I'm searching, this is the hotel I want to say. She taught me everything. She said, no, auntie, you're not going for vacation. This is business now. So she taught me things. Okay, there are business hotels. I said, okay, is it like B&Bs? I don't know whatever you're calling B&B, auntie, but this is it. This is how you do in Turkey. You will hide your iPhone. You have to take, because sometimes they behave like Africans. You take one phone that is not too expensive. That's the one you'll be showing. And she taught me things. She was like, auntie, don't spend more than so amount. I said, yes. Okay. So don't spend, because this is your first. You might make mistakes. I said, okay.
She led you into fashion then?
Yeah, she led me into fashion and taught me how to handle myself when I go to Turkey, so that they will not take more than they should take from me. I remember one day my husband was like, look, I want to ask you for a favor. And I thought it was like, I said, okay. I said, I know you succeed in anything you do. I know you're doing well already. But there's something I want to beg you to do for me. I said, what is it? He said, fashion. I laughed the hell out. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Yeah. What the heck are you talking about? Fashion. I just love wearing clothes. I don't even know how they do the fashion business. He said, oh my God, you don't know yourself. I love to dress well. I love seeing people look good. But this business one, I don't get it. How am I going to, you understand? So he didn't push. When God twisted again my faith to fashion, I found myself in it. So I did dry retail. I said from retail, traveling to Turkey and New York, bringing things. But I'm going to tell you the truth. By the 6th month, I was tired. I was tired because when I go to Turkey, for example, Turkey has different markets. So sometimes I'm talking with the store owners. I see some nice stuff. What I was always looking for was finding unique items that are also affordable. Now, that is not an easy union to make, because those unique items, sometimes when I find that they're really expensive, I know I'm going to sell. So I'm not going to buy like I'm buying for myself. Sometimes I walk into the stores, I see lovely things, but the way it's cut, so I will now be like, this is really nice, but this fabric quality is not good for this. I'll just give them my own little advice that, okay, don't cut the neck like this, or take off this thing that you pin. Sometimes when you see those cheap turkey where they pin, put some stuff dangling, I say, no, remove it, do it like this. This dress, the length is in neither here nor here. When you do the next one, do it like this, you see that people will buy. And the good thing, they listen. So they collect my number. When they produce another collection, I'll get a WhatsApp chat, and then I will now order. I will travel down. One day my husband looked at me and said, I didn't know I married a Mother Teresa. So you help create something and you spend money to go and buy what you have created. I never saw it that way before then.
Some people have a strong passion on what they want to do, but they lack the courage to pull through. How were you able to, what gave you the courage to be able to pull through into what you're doing currently?
I fought so hard. I was afraid. When you say afraid, because my vision of when I said, okay, no, I want to create, I believed in myself that if I create what I'm going to create, the minimum quality will be what I'm selling. And anybody that had access to my store then can testify. I remember some stylists will come into my store. I said, look, when I start creating that means I know I will do very well. I will do well. That my red carpet moments will be so nice. And I remember telling one of my customers, she's an older woman, I said, I'm going to create, I'm going to produce. And she told me later that she used to laugh then inside her, that this girl thinks creation is so easy. When I started, she confessed that she never. So I was so afraid, because being me, when I want to do something, I really want to do it. So I live in Lekki Phase 1 for years. And I didn't want to suffer what I suffered in banking. Traversing Lagos in traffic. I wanted whatever I'm going to do has to be in the same locality with me, so that I won't even have problem with traffic of Lagos. That meant capital outlay. I remember calling two of my friends. In fact, one of them, while I was thinking, I remember that day, it was in June of 2017. When I said fashion, my first store was opened December 10, 2016. It was a tiny store. That store that the man gave me it wasn't even up to 17 square meters. That's where I started from. I didn't know my left from my right. It was that my younger friend that taught me everything. I started the first store in 2016, December 10. That was the day I opened the store. I know I came in like 4 days to that date. And me, I'm used to fire brigade, because in Access Bank, we call ourselves warriors. Because anything can come up now, you must attend to it and you must do it well. So that training is already in me. When I did that opening, I will never forget. People came. I was like, I didn't know this. I have this level of goodwill with people. People came, and I sold. I remember the first month, that December, I don't want to mention the figure, but I sold so much. I remember one lady that my husband and I respect so much, works in my husband's office. She told my husband came back and the next week and said, oh, by the way, this lady came to see him and said, I think she would do so well in fashion. She's an older lady, but her store is so small. We couldn't even really, you can't even, move around easily, because everything is inside that small store. Fitting room, cashier's desk, AC, mannequin, racks. So it's so small. And my husband told her, she's so afraid. She said if she fails, nobody will remember that there was ever a store in that place. So that's why that store is okay. But by February, which was like 2 months after, I got this bigger space in another mall close by. So then I had 2 stores. The bigger one was close to 30 square meters. And that's where a lot of people that I got to know in the fashion space got to know me. I had one tailor that's my consultant, because I had to hire a consultant to guide me, because I didn't know anything. I don't know which machine is good. I don't even know their names. But I'm a fast learner, so I prayed and I went home. It was, I think it was a Wednesday. I slept 7:45 a.m. the next day. I got a call. I got a call from one of my colleagues in banking. She knew that I was doing fashion in terms of retail. She had never come to my store, but she called me that morning and what she said was, Nonye, how are you? See, I'm receiving an award, a very big award with, it's a Catholic award with 5 bishops, some from Nigeria, some from the West, Canada, and other countries. And she's the only, I was raised as a Catholic, so she was the only laity, getting that award. I said, look, I want you to create a marvelous piece for me that I'm going to. If I want you to style me completely. My body went cold. I was only running a store. So how did she now know
that you could style her?
That I'm creating? I've not even sewn a pin yet. I've not. No fabric yet on any machine. You understand? I said, okay, when is this award? She told me, Saturday. I prayed. I got into my factory that day. I said, God, is this you? I prayed because I had already stocked some fabrics. I just, closed my eyes. I could see us when I was in banking. No measurement, nothing. I said, okay, I know she'll be a size this, So I told my tailor, we're making this size. I put fabric and we did. I said, okay, because she's Catholic, I understand Catholic church and exposure and all that. I remember running to the airport on Thursday because I couldn't give to DHL around Lekki. I had to run to the airport to make sure that that item left that same day. So it can arrive on Friday since DHL wouldn't work on Saturday. And I was waiting for her feedback. Luckily, the event wasn't on Saturday, it was on Monday. So she hadn't called me, so I was worried. By Tuesday, I called her. I said, sis, have you got your item? She said, oh my God, you made me look gorgeous. Perfect, nothing. I was like, thank you. My consultant, when he heard it, was like, what kind of grace do you have? First cut. And it was so successful. And of course, I collected my money, tidy money, because I knew the brand I was building. So that's how I moved in. The moment my friend told me, look, I don't want to get another call from you that is not saying that you have paid the lease. The moment I parted with that check and it was processed, I knew there was no going back. I said, God, there's no going back. Meaning, me and you inside this matter. And all the people that I got to know in the course of this, the celebrities, everything, it was just miracle bringing me and them together. I'm not an outgoing person. I'm that kind of person that I can stay in my house from January to January. I find comfort in myself. I find, I enjoy myself.
Now, for you, since you started and that you achieved this success, now, at what point would you say was the major breakthrough point for you in this business that made you to say, I think I need to relax on this?
The beauty of fashion is that as you grow each stage, there's something that keeps your passion going on. So when I started, my dear friend Omotola, the legend herself, how Omotola and I even met is still something, we really can't. It's funny. I think it was through a stylist. And, she just, I remember her. I hadn't met her then. And then she hadn't moved to her house in Ireland. But she came to my page because I didn't even know how to do Instagram. It was after then I said Instagram. Banker, what concerned me with Instagram? So I didn't know how this Instagram was done. My younger friend told me, Auntie, open Instagram. I opened. I remember there's a piece she picked. A stylist picked from my store and she loved it. And anyone she loved, she just tell the stylist, please tell her to send her account number. I want to pay for this thing. And then she came to my page, which is very unusual with celebrities because, they have built their brands. So they give you access. She came to my page, and she wrote a comment. And she said, you have such a very kind heart. She said some positive, like, I know, you read through comments. I'm like, wow. I know everything she said there was me, but we have not met. How could she read me from wherever she was? And that's how my waka with her in Nigerian Palace started. And then her birthday that year, her 40th birthday, I would never forget it. Never, because I remember her saying, Nonnistics, you're the one I want to wear for my birthday. I was just starting. I opened my factory November 15th was the day I put machines. Your birthday is February 7th to be celebrated on February 11th. And you're choosing me, a rookie, she has many people. I see on her phone. I mean, big international designers are on her phone. She has access to them. They'll be so glad to style her. Many people were calling. They want to be part of that because she has that presence, and she chose me. So that was it for me. That year, in December 10, 2017, Auntie Mo Abudu. That was the day they premiered Wedding Party 1, the first one. And I remember the theme that they gave out was Arabian something. I styled her. I styled Tools the OAP, right? I remember the two things I made. So I started on Motala in this Indian sari kind of stuff. And I styled Tools in an Arabian wear, like a dress with that cape, gold and black. And I remember watching the clips because there was a time they had to pick best dress, and I saw that, oh, my people are there, and I was just happy. But even at that December, the people that knew me, not from fashion, thought maybe I imported the dresses. I didn't make it, so that was a first struggle, until the day I now had to do, I now released the video, the sketch, everything. And I remember somebody called me and said, did you actually make those? I said, yes, I made them. People are saying that, okay, it is imported. And I believe them. But that statement gave me a lot of comfort and peace because it told me then you're on the right track. If your work can be compared with the very luxury stuff imported, keep on that track. So then her birthday was one that threw me out there because she didn't just say style me and just wear dresses. No, Omotola is very kind-hearted. I remember her calling me, babes, I went to your page. In fact, she did page audit for me because I didn't know anything about Instagram. She said, okay, I'm about to release. We are going to release this picture. I saw some things I don't like on the page, not professional. Anything that's not professionally shot. Any image there that is not professional, you just take them down. If you're afraid of losing them, you can archive them, but take them down. Even if it's only one picture you have on your page, just leave it. And I went there that night. So I took down some things. And I called, I said, can you check back? Does it look okay? And she naturally said, yes, leave it like this. And then the next day when she,
released pictures,
it was like wildfire.
How did you get the name Nonnistics?
Nonnistics is actually it's my husband though. Then we're boyfriend, girlfriend. That, brought that name. And it wasn't like a name, when do some naughty things. And he will now just go, Nonnistics. So when I had the opportunity of registering a company, then, and I asked him, I said, what name should I even put in this? That the CAC people came to our bank, our branch then I was transferred out of Lagos, and they're encouraging us that we can register companies. I'd never registered one before. So they gave us forms. I came back to Lagos because I used to travel back to Lagos every weekend, and I went to see him. I was like, hey, these people came. They said we should register a company. I don't even know what name to register. He said, why are you looking for name? Put Nonnistics there, Joe. You're not yourself.
Seriously?
Yes. I say yes. That's why I put Nonnistics.
Let's be like you.
Yes. That's why I put Nonnistics. Few people actually can relate it to my name. So
yeah.
But you really can't place it easily.
Now, for you personally, what do you think, or you can say, is a blueprint that can help anyone to succeed in the fashion industry?
So I would say, first, understand that each person has his or her own calling, even when you're in the same industry. When we say the sky is large enough, people think it's just about market of superficial things. What that saying does is that we are all gifted differently. See, two designers will create this shirt, but it will come out differently. And I always tell people there is a buyer for everybody. If you want to stay original, stay to your craft. The way I would make a dress, the pictures might come out and it might look like they're the same. But when you get the two dresses, they are not the same. That's why I tell people, so you have to be original. One thing that I've always heard about my brand, originality. It's not just here. Of course, I do shows, international shows and all that. There is a buyer for your brand. Stop running from helter to skelter. Helter skelter everywhere. Oh, they are doing corsets now, so you must do corset. Yes. No, be you. Trends come and go. But you must have what we call architectural backbone. There must be something about you, about your creation that anybody Once they see it, they know it's you. And run your business as a business. You know, I still teach, I coach, and these are some of the courses I always teach people. Run it as a business and never look down on your business. The days of your little beginning, don't ever take them for granted. They're part of your story. But from day one, run your business as a business. It doesn't matter if it's 1 naira coming in. So from day one, of course, my company had its own account. I don't mix up my earnings. Let the business be business. Let your personal life be your personal life. I know some people say, but what if I need money? And of course, sometimes you need money. Sometimes your business will even need money. And you as a person, you have more money. Yeah, you can fund your business. It's seen as equity infusion. You can fund your business in different ways. You can move money from your account to your business account, but please make sure you see that space that we give, every bank gives remarks. It's very important. So when you're moving that money, don't just transfer money. We need to know why the money is there. If it's equity infusion, equity means that money, your company is not paying it back to you. If it's a loan that you're giving to your company, put it there as a refundable director loan, meaning that once the company makes the money, it should pay you back your money. If it's loan without interest, non-interest loan that you're giving your company, also state it. Just write it there, because tomorrow you're going to grow. Auditors would look at those things, and that's how they need to place different things at different places, in the right headers. That's one. Then the other thing is, please don't cut corners.
How do you mean by cut corners?
Some people would always first start thinking of profitability, and so your client gives you work to do. You use cheap fabrics, things that when the client takes maybe one wear, it's torn. It's already showing signs of wear, and sometimes you don't even wear it, only sun will just bleach it. So now, remember, when you start a business, you're trying to build credibility, you're trying to build trust, and without these things, that business won't grow. Another thing I tell business owners is that your biggest currency of business is your integrity. It's not naira, it's not dollars, it's not pounds, it's not the currency that you know. It is your integrity. Your word should be your bond. Character in everything. Even as bankers, it's not about how much money you have. We look at character. You can be so rich. Everybody knows that you have the capacity to pay that loan that you want to borrow, but we won't give you the money, because we have seen traces of that bad character, that tomorrow you do grandstanding and you say you won't pay, let the loan go bad. So character. In business, it's also like that. Your integrity is your biggest currency of trade.
Expand on that integrity.
As a businessman, somebody orders something from you. If I order this blue, I expect that you give me this blue. If there is any reason why I'm not going to get this blue, please communicate ahead of time. Tell me everything. Don't be so drawn to grabbing the money. I see that a lot on Instagram, and I get shocked when I see people being drawn. I'm like, what is happening here? If this is not available at the time of order, be kind to say, this is not available. However, I have this other one. So that ahead of time, I know what I'm expecting. Because there's nothing that pains so much as disappointment. For our kind of business, most people already know this business as business of disappointment. That you give your tailor something to do, you tell you come, it's going to be ready. And I read one comment one day some years ago, and I felt bad. Somebody said that tailors have a special corner in hell.
Yes.
Sometimes it might happen. But you see, the communication must be right.
Let your word be your bond.
Let your word be your bond. All you need in business is another chance. Another chance.
Yeah.
From another chance, that's how you have repeat orders, repeat customers. And how you weigh your business is, how many repeat customers am I still carrying in my books? Yes. So that it's not every day new customer, but the old ones are leaving. So when you check, I started 8 years ago. Do I still have clients that came to me from 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
9 years ago when I was doing retail, that are still ordering things from me. For me, I always check that, and I cherish that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's so important that integrity, you must be professional, keep your business separate from yourself. And your emotional intelligence is very important. It's not when customer says one, you say 1 million times. You would definitely have irate customers.
Yes.
There's no business that you not have irate customers. Because we meet each other at different points of emotion. Sometimes the irate customer, what you did was perfect, but that person is going through something, and all that is needed is one little trigger. And the person will pour all you understand? So when you understand that part, you know that when it happens, you don't need to fight back. Take a step back. Allow the person to pour all their emotions. Then go ahead and resolve it. I've had irate customers. I've also had times when things didn't go the way they would go. What I always teach my people is, our job here is to make sure the customer leaves with a good taste of us in their mouth. If it means me producing another one and shipping it at my cost and everything, I will do that. And I have done it several times. Yes, I'll bear the cost. What is the opportunity cost? That's what you will check. The opportunity cost of not getting that customer happy is that you've lost the customer. Today it might be a small customer. Do you know what tomorrow would be?
True.
I have customers that don't even order so much, but through them, I have established mighty networks of people that order much more than they can. How you treat people matters, right? And as a business as well, it's also important to watch over the goose that lays the golden egg. So they tell us, those people that work for you. And again, I come back to let your word be your bond. If you recruit people and you say, I'm going to pay you this amount as salary, and you people have agreed, please, once the month ends, pay them. Pray to God. I know it's not easy doing business. Sometimes anything could happen and you want to extend. But one thing I pray to God, I said, God, this is a covenant between me and you. I will never permit it, oh God, that a month would end and my people have not collected salary and is running into next month. No way. Except all the banks where we have our money. When maybe they are down, there's a downtime that everybody is aware of. And even in our company, we communicate. We communicate all the time because we have a staff group where all of us are WhatsApp group. We communicate to staff. I mean, these are people we see every day, but we still have that group. Pass information, everything. So the HR would know that, look, this is what is happening in case blah, 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 blah. And everybody knows. Don't keep people in the dark what is going on. Appreciate effort. Appreciate good results. When people do well, you know, we try the little we can to let you know that we appreciate it. Well, it's also important to be structured in your business. Very, very important. This fashion design, for example, it's a lot of hard work. It's very stressful. What takes you through it is the passion, the love you have for it. You can't be everything. Like I always tell myself, I say, look, don't try to eat all the money alone, even when the money hasn't come. My dad used to tell us something when I was younger. He said, don't take what you will not take. Don't take today what you will not take tomorrow when you become who you dream to be. If tomorrow I want to be a big man, a big woman, and I know that big woman, when I become that big woman, me, I will not take this rubbish. Today I won't take it. So like I'm preparing myself for that time I'm going to get into that. Don't be against who you want to be. In my company, for example, we pay salaries. We also have ad hoc staff. If we agree that this is what we're paying, you understand, do your work and we'll pay you. And we have policies. As much as we're human beings, sometimes you say, but no, you can be the best tailor we have. But if your attitude, your character is so flawed that if we leave you because you're the best tailor, you're going to spread that oil all over the place and then destroy the integrity of the company. We'll let you go. My HR manager will be like, don't worry, God got us. We will suffer your absence for a while, but it won't be for long. And I learned that in banking. Because while in banking, I remember one time that there was this policy that came up. There's one particular exam, one particular area of banking that the management said everybody must write the test and pass. And they gave only one chance. And they gave dates. You better go and study. And I remember vividly one guy that we all know, very fantastic guy. He did the test, but he didn't make the cutoff. 1 mark less than the cutoff. And all of us were thinking, this guy is so good. At least they will look at the work he does. No.
They let him go.
They let him off.
Wow.
Yes. Not because they hate you. The guy is good, but the policy is the policy. Now, what happens when you condone certain behaviors because somebody is so good is that you give so much power to ugly behavior. And we are humans. Other team members are watching. Yes. You will lose your credibility before them. The next thing, everybody is going to start behaving that way, and you will lose your ground to correct them. And when that keeps happening, is the company that is suffering. Make sure that you have workplace policies. What happens, lateness to work, infractions, what the company will do, so that everybody is clear. But it puts people in shape and helps the company continue to move on.
Now, I asked whether is it good for copying?
Copying takes away your originality. It's a different thing if you're taking inspiration, like I said before, from someone else's work. But if you're constantly copying other people, then you totally lose your originality.
Now, how did you make your way to Parish and New York Fashion Week?
So when I started, I remember I wrote down my strategy document, and I remember putting in there that, okay, I'll do one international show in a year. My first strategy document, I did it for the first 2 years with a view to reviewing it as I go on, which is what usually happens. And within that first year, I got the opportunity of doing a fashion show, Glaze Africa fashion show in Ghana, and it was my first show. But because, like I said, I didn't know I would do fashion as a business, but I've always enjoyed fashion. I remember always watching fashion shows on the Fashion Channel on DSTV and other stations when I travel. I just love things fashion. I love the red carpet, the glitz, the glamour. So I did the first fashion show in within the first year of my existence as a designer. It was fantastic. It was I went as an underdog, but the Lord magnified my brand. That was in October 2018. Then by January, before as I was coming back, I got this contact to also come for the Couture New York in February for the fall winter show. I felt I was still too young. I mean, I could deal with the Ghana thing because we are neighbors, but I felt at that time that, but God, I didn't put these things this early time. It's something I was looking at, okay, by the third year, by God's grace, this is coming too early. So I declined, I didn't go. But as I was declining, by March, April, I got this invitation again to New York Fashion Week. And I don't know them. They have process of vetting and all that. So they were the ones that reached out. And again, I was afraid. I was afraid because now going to New York Fashion Week is expensive. My brand has just started. I was looking at the financial outlay, the cost, and I was also afraid again that this brand is young. What am I going there to do as much as, So I started with them. They scheduled, we had quite some virtual meetings. They said they've been seeing my work and they would like me to come, that I shouldn't worry, because everything is paid for. I was like, this is a lot. I was about declining totally when I said, okay, let me even go and pray about it. I came back stronger and I said, okay, this is for spring, summer show in September that I need. I told them what I needed. My spirit said, go ahead, I'll work with you. I said, okay, because you're supposed to pay this whole amount, like this. I said, no, coming from the banking industry, I know I can always do what is called payment terms. I asked them for payment terms and they said, that's not a problem. So they took me through it. In fact, it was a totally different experience from what I did in Glaze. This is structure. This is everything. They took me, everything is timed. And so date, all designers have done this. So date, blah, 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 cut off everything. Meetings, we're going to see you 3 times. Once you're in New York, designers meeting, this one, that one, everything is timed. Fitting date, you have just 45 minutes to do the fitting, you hand over to them. You can actually run your show without your presence at that point. It was divine providence.
How did that help your brand?
A lot, yes. At that time, I was still very young in the industry and I was just having my baby steps. But the part of the collection I actually took wasn't the real, you understand, because I was looking at also the cost of shipment. My family travels a lot, so I was like, okay, we can help you. Since all of us are going to travel before, you can give us the ones we can carry, and then when you come, you now carry them to New York. And then I had disappointments. Company that was printing my, what they call catalog, that's a lookbook, did rubbish. I remember that day I was crying because that's heavy. It's heavy. Something that I really looked forward to, my family carrying, my kids. I mean, they're not going with anything. Just everybody kept no luggage, just waiting for mommy's, items to come and they will share it. So I was disappointed. I had paid money till today. My money I lost. Now my family had to travel without those things. I cried. I remember sitting on the floor and just cried because I didn't know what else to do. When it gets you to some point, you just want to let the tears out. Maybe in the course of the tears, when God has calmed you, then He will give you solution. So I was now looking at costs. I was traveling. My flight was already scheduled. I had to start looking for another company to do all those prints. And then how do I ship it? If I go through DHL, I was looking at it. It was crazy. I had to call everybody that I knew. I called my husband. I called everybody. So I got a contact in the cargo in Sacco. I went there and they shipped. I told them, please, I need it to be shipped straight to my city where I was going to. Give me time when it will get there. They shipped. They usually don't even ship to that city. They ship to another state in the US mostly. That's where they have their agencies. If it was that state, I wouldn't. Their agents would just bring it to the house. But I was in a different city. They had to ship and then I had to go and clear it. Luckily for me, I know I had to make inquiries. My brother was like, okay, they can let them ship it as personal. So when they got there, US has a standard customs rate. It's not like they see you, they increase it, or because you're coming from Nigeria, if it's there, it's there. So I waited, it came, and then that's how I got there. One thing is that once you do an international show, you do not know the extent your brand would go.
Yeah.
Because remember, the fashion media out there is mad, it's crazy, it's a lot. So when you start see yourself in different power media houses, talking about your collections and all that, they do that. It's something that's established. The fashion media out there is what grows the industry. So when I got the clips, because the organizers are also fantastic, they go from beginning to end. So post show, you will get all your photography, your videos and everything. Media clips. So I was like, oh wow, this is nice. And then I also got opportunities that I lost because of fear. Because I was still looking at myself as I just started. These opportunities that are presenting to me looks like
too big for
too big. But with benefit of hindsight, I'm like, what the heck? Why did you miss those opportunities? But I know God will always make
Now,
it come.
if some people are thinking, because now you've grown to a point where you're working with lots of celebrities, if there's a young fashion designer out there and person, he or she is thinking, how do I get into working for celebrities? What would be your top 3 advice for that person?
Like I always say, my work with celebrities is purely divine, truthfully speaking. But I think there's something about spirit connecting to spirit. And because I'm also free-spirited, really, I want people to look good. So it's also not every opportunity that has come to me that I have taken. Again, remember, behind it is also business. For a young designer, whether we like it or not, because I understand this also from how it works in the West. So the entertainment industry, movie industry, and all of us, and the fashion industry, they are intertwined. They all need each other. The movie industry, the members in that industry, the people, the actors there, they need fashion industry collaborations. One thing is, your fashion game as a celebrity counts a lot. And for us in this other side, whether we like it or not, they hold a lot of visibility. We're all in the creative industry, but they hold a lot of visibility because they are the people that people see. People see them often, see them in TV, see them in, in shows everywhere. We are intertwined. We need them. They need us. But they hold a lot of visibility. If you're a young person or somebody starting up, your craft is important. What kind of things are you making? Are they things that they would be willing to put on their bodies? That they want to also support you does not mean that they'll just wear anything. I'm telling you, especially when you have worked hard to build that presence. And each individual is different. So it's also for you to check, okay, this is my audience. This is where I am in the industry. These are the kind of pieces that I create. Who among this, because now you group them as audience, right? Who among them can fit into my architectural backbone to be able to give me that visibility? Is very important. And when you also talk about visibility, which audience resonates with each celebrity? It's so important as a business person. The audience they have, if it resonates with your audience, perfect match. The other thing is sometimes for business, you have what you call, okay, this audience is for sale. This audience is for announcements. There are people, they don't check their followers and all that. They don't resonate with your audience. They can't afford your pieces, but they can be the voice lifting the brand. So it's now up to you as a business owner to make that strategic decision, what to put for this audience and at what time, and what to put for this audience and for what purpose.
How do you source your materials?
Before I started, I pulled in a lot of fabrics. I used to travel a lot. Remember, I started from buying from Turkey. So Turkey was my beautiful place and they have textile, they are textile, as they call it, they are textiles. They have very good quality textiles. However, along the line, also from my banking knowledge and economics, there's something called economies of scale. How much am I bringing in, as the dollar kept rising? So you have to sit down to say, how do I? So there are so many of our brothers and sisters here, jobbers, because that's what they're called in fashion. They are jobbers. And I see them. They know me, I know them. So I had to step back. They now know my taste. They know the kind of things I want. So I would rather then let them know that each jobber that I work with serves a different kind of fabric. It's easier for me. I will pay that small difference. It gives me peace. I don't need to travel. and it reduces my costs because they bring in on a much bigger volume scale than I would bring in. So, but their landing costs on average will be cheaper than mine. So what I'm paying to them actually is cheaper than for me to travel and go and bring in just how many kg. So, and it also affords me the opportunity of saying, okay, I want this quantity, and they have the capacity to bring in that quantity and stock for me. Because one thing is when you do collection and then you've not even fully, made the fruit from your collection and then you're running out of stock, that's the worst thing that can happen to you.
There are many fashion designers out there that are looking to grow in their brands, but they're making some major mistakes. What do you think are some of the mistakes that hinders some fashion designers from achieving some success?
Let's start from attitude. I see a lot that happens on Instagram. Somebody orders something from you, you did not deliver, and you block the person. You're a thief. THIEF. You're a thief. If somebody orders something from you, has paid you, by all means, deliver it. And if there's an issue, communicate with the customer. Don't block them. You're a thief if you do. I mentioned integrity. You can't move forward in anything you do without integrity. I know people say, oh, the criminals are enjoying. No, their days are numbered in life. And it's not me that said it, is God. God said, we should not envy the prosperity of the wicked. Attitude is very important. Character. Some people they're so uncapped. You're talking with a customer and you're talking like, hey, if you don't want to do it, you can go. How? Today you're looking down at that customer. Tomorrow, that customer might be the one leading you to the prayer you have been making. Treat people well, online, offline. I know sometimes the stress of the job can put you in an emotional scale that you didn't expect. But once it's a customer, calm down. Just be counting 1 to 10. Be counting it until the whole anger, calms down. So character integrity is very key. You can't be lazy about your business. When I say lazy, in business, if you really want to push, you have what we call the pull and push effect. Yeah. So if you're doing only one side, you'll be waiting for too long. As a designer, if you say you want to be a designer, then you have to push and you have to pull. So for you to even be a designer, you must release a minimum of 1 collection in a year. Minimum. Otherwise, except you're a custom dressmaker. Yes, if you're a custom dressmaker, that means you just release 1 dress and people will just come and be ordering. When they order, you make another. But for designer, the designer season is 4. You have the pre-fall, you have the fall-winter, you have the pre-spring, you have this spring-summer. That's why they say fashion design can lead to burnout. So as you're finishing this season, you're entering the other season. 2020 made it easier. Some people decided that I don't want to be doing 4 seasons again. I'll just manage and do 2 seasons. Remember, they say you have to count 1 before you count 2. Don't focus on the noise on the social media and start comparing yourself with other people. Because you just be running kitty kata kata everywhere, and at the end you achieve nothing. Focus. Focus. Rome was not built in a day. Focus. All of us are growing. I'm just going to be 8 years this November 15, that I opened my factory and said, okay, today I'm a designer. Focus. Don't block your ear. Admire whatever good that you see and appreciate people's good work. And don't talk down on their work so that the same blessing can come to you. But focus. Stop changing up and down. Oh, they're not doing this one, you change. Know what you want. This is what I'm creating. If it's using natural fibers to create anything, focus. One day it will grow, it will be big. People will say, okay, this person is making this, so the expertise is there. Integrity, that one, once it's lacking, forget it. It's just a matter of time. And structure your business so that you will not die. So that you will not die.
What are the templates of the right structure in fashion business?
So I always tell people, right, you put structure according to those things that you find, the things that you do. If you're always the one, you source fabrics, you enter the inventory yourself, you do the marketing, you do the tailoring. It's a lot on you.
You burn out.
You will burn out. You do recruitment, you do everything. Delegate. Those things that that if I have somebody, that's what I teach people. Just say that if I had somebody doing this for me, that already tells you that there's a position, a vacancy for that. As the CEO of your company, honestly, you need all the free time to focus on the strategic direction of the company. When you are so loaded, you need people to, sometimes I cry out to my HR, I say, look, fill this space, fill them. I know you're looking at salary bill is increasing. But it's the people that work out the money. Because when you're freed, your
brain,
you're able to think, strategize,
growth,
then the growth will be coming, and that's what brings the money. Don't kill somebody with all that. We outsource some jobs, like we have cleaning services, security services. We outsource those ones. Vendors that do different things, so please have it. If anything happens, this building, the solar, this is the vendor that handles that. If anything happens, this for carpentry, this for furniture making, this, so that even if this person resigns, another person enters the office, he already has a template to run with. The vendor list is there.
Some people say they don't have the money for all these positions to pay the people.
See, what I always say is this: recruit and it will work out. I don't have that money, and I always say it, even though I don't, but maybe because I'm such a woman of faith, and I believe that every step I take, as long as I've consulted God and I say go ahead, He provides. I lost a lot of money as I was resigning, even at that, because I practically loaded out my money to people that today, they never pay. Sometimes I'll cry then I say, if I had this money, I would have just bought this property. That was it's gone. And my husband will always say, your cheese has moved. Find it. Find. Don't dwell there. If you don't take the step, you'll be stuck. Sometimes people suffer, disappointments. Like the business we are in is a business of tailors. They are the critical component of the business. They can pull the plug like this on you. Those people can pull the carpet from under your feet.
You don't have the money to pay them.
It's not even whether you have money to pay them. It's just in some of them, their nature. There's something I learned when I started. And like I said, I always talk about my husband, because he is a bigger manager of people and resources than I have been. I mean, I left banking as a divisional manager as well, managing several branches under me, managers and all the stuff under me. But I respect him a lot because, I also seek his insights. Sometimes I will cry then and say, look at what this person has done. I'm saying this one. The person is saying, he said, did you see him in your class in the university? I said, no. And I said, hey, so why do you expect him to reason on that same level with you? So that thing has stayed in me, and it has really helped me manage people that are much lower, that you consider lower, but they are very critical to your success. So I always remember, they are not my classmates, so I need to come down to their level. And one other tailor of mine, may he so rest in peace, he traveled back to his country, but he's late now. He made me learn something, because this English that we speak is, so he said, one day he just said, Madam can speak big English. So I had to go and perfect my pidgin, because those are tools I need to succeed. Success involves things as little as that, because I need to be able to communicate in a way that he would understand to be able to do what I want. So I had to go and perfect my pidgin. In fact, I had to learn to write it and speak it. So when I get into the workshop, I can drop all the posh English and move into pidgin. Everybody, then everything's there working. Because sometimes I'll do, I say, okay, no, here, Madam, they speak big. And once that person tunes off, you've lost the person, and that job is not going to come out well. So you have to look at your business and tell yourself, do I want to succeed? And success doesn't come easy. Even as I'm here now talking with you, there are days that things will just happen. You have planned everything and things will happen. Ability to also plan and have good connections. And I tell people, this is HR management, right? Not everybody that comes for interview in my company would get the job. It's either of two things. The person didn't fit into what we want, or we cannot afford what the person wants us to pay, but the person is good. I don't kick out anybody. I make sure I maintain that relationship. It's if you're good. And even if you're not good, I maintain the relationship, because everybody improves. I've had tailors that after they say, Madam, I'm good now. I say, okay, come, let's check again. They will come. If they're not still good, I'll tell them, you have to go back, and improve, So you keep that relationship. That network is very important, because there are days of crisis in this business. You need to throw out stuff quickly, and it's those connections you can go. So just like a football team, for this kind of work that we do, look at yourself as a football team. Let's talk about Arsenal. For years, Arsenal didn't have a good bench, but this season, Arsenal has a good bench. In fact, our bench is as good as the first 11. Do you understand? And you can see that we're doing well, right? So you also appropriate that into your business.
That's not winning anything,
Don't worry. But now we are winning. We've had a very good run so far. So in business, there are people you have to always have on your KIV, keep in view, right? And there are people that are inside. There are times it will happen. You pull up your KIV and say, hey, come, do this and get your payments. Keeping those people helps you meet urgent demands and sometimes missing skill gap. So don't throw away anybody. And you can collaborate as well. Learn to collaborate. Collaboration is very good. My friend can be a designer, and I'm like, hey, I need somebody to do this for me urgently. I don't want anybody on permanent term. I know you do this. Can you help me? Give me one of your people to just do this. And I don't need them on permanent term. If they have a little freedom in their schedule with you. And I have good people that do that. If it's possible with you, that's fine. So collaboration is very important. And if you're in this industry, whether you like it or not, you must spend money. Now it's easier for people because now everybody has learned how to use iPhone, whatever, to take pictures. But remember, those pictures are still not professional pictures, no matter how good they look. We can use them to post on Instagram and all that, but you still need to do your collection shoots with proper photography. Whether you like it or not, you must spend that money because presentation matters.
Yeah.
I love brands. There are some brands I see, oh my God, their media team is really strong. And you can see how they are blazing, yeah? But I always tell myself, I said, I will push in every direction that would help me raise my head. I'm still on this journey. I still consider myself young in the industry in terms of my brand age and all that. But I know that God is with us. And I know that success is not a sprint.
Do you recommend taking a loan to expand business?
I'm a banker, so I will say yes. And I'm going to explain to you. I've heard people say, I cannot take loan. It's Mami Water money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the same loan that we give, Mami Water money. I have a curse on that. It's a very big curse. Let me tell you this. For you to take a loan, you must first check your capacity now. Can you pay the loan? Because you're taking the loan to add to your business. That's the way a lender would look at it.
So if your interest rate is a problem.
If you add that, so you need to look at it in totality at this interest rate. If I take it, what I'm using it for, will it be able to generate enough cash flow to pay it back? You must ask yourself that question. I've taken loans. This building, I took a loan to augment my own money. This is a huge project. At the time I did it, I was like 2 years old in the industry when I was huge, but I just put my head. You know, when you say, do it afraid. That's what I did. But again, your business, you see, when you were asking me about New York Fashion Week and all that, so I had set a record without totally realizing it. That anybody that looks at my document will know that there's vision, there is intention, there is something that if we support this brand, they will get there someday. So then it's not for me not to have Oju Kokoro. I want to go and take more than I can.
More than you can
pay. You have to always check that. If loans are good, and let me tell you what loans do, they build your discipline. If you do not have discipline, please do not take loan. Because you're owing somebody. You must have the financial discipline to know that even though I would like to hang out this weekend, this place, spend this money, pop this champagne and all that, I have a loan dropping on Tuesday. A loan repayment dropping on Tuesday. So I need to make sure that I have made provisions in my account so that when that repayment drops, the bank is good to go. So it builds your discipline, your financial discipline. And I tell you, if you don't have discipline, don't take a loan because you'll be a bad debtor. In this industry, people think, if I owe OPay, I will go to the other one. It doesn't work like that. The current policies of the CBN, which is why the BVN was actually established.
Yes.
Is that any bank you owe, you move to the other bank. The bank you owe will collect your money, except they are not ready to. There is no billionaire that is not leveraged. When we say leveraged, I mean that is not using other people's money, loans. You must use other people's money because if you want to grow, how much equity can you have to push your business to grow? Even if you now decide to go public or seek, private equity investments, other people to bring their money into your business, you still owe them if you're the one running the business. Because when people invest in your company, they expect returns. Now, I don't want to go into that because that might be confusing to some people. But when you bring people in to invest in your business, there are expectations. In the simplest form, there are expectations. And the kind of equity they have put, the kind of money they have put determines. Some people can give you money as a long-term loan or to take shares, which is not equity. So that means that they have agreed to take the risk of the business with you. But let's come back to about loans. People like me, whether loans are good. For every business, I want to believe that the reason you want to take a loan, there are two major reasons. Either to invest in the business for growth, and the other one might be to bridge a temporary gap. Temporary gap so that, okay, you have monies. You know, the way we make sales, sometimes your sales come in cash, but there are people that also allow some credit, sales, people that you trust that they would pay. So maybe you have made the sale, but you have not received the money, and suddenly there is a gap in your financing. Maybe the receivables that you thought you're going to get. When we say receivables, that means those monies that people owe you. You had expected that they would come in at so time. And if they come in, you don't have problem. Everything will continue to run as it is. But they didn't come in. And you're looking at it. If nothing is done, there might be a shutdown in operations, which will affect your business negatively. So there are loans. Those are short-term loans. That's when you can take loan from lenders, whether it's big or small, for a temporary period, maybe 30 days, no more than 90 days.
How easy is it? The question is, how easy is it to get these loans, especially from banks, and also with their collateral demands? See, most people who don't have collateral, that's why the advanced world is better. I don't think they make all those unnecessary demands to be able to give you a loan. But in this part of the world, you can't just go to any bank and just access loans like that without some kind of huge collateral. And some people will tell you they have this collateral. Why are they even coming for the loan? How can that be curtailed for someone that is looking for, maybe they need loan to expand the business and they're not going to the bank? Aside the interest rate that is quite high, you'll also be talking about some collateral. How do you balance that kind of situation?
First, let me correct an impression. Banking system is the same
all over the world.
The banking system is the same. I talk to my bankers. The thing, like the course I have, I just hope that when I release it, that people would, and it's not just for individuals, it's for companies of different sizes, big, small. When you understand what a loan is, you'll be able to get a loan. A loan is not just one flat surface to solve. There are different kinds of loans for different purposes. The challenge a lot of people have is not even collateral. The challenge is knowing what they want to use the loan to do. When you understand what you need the loan for, the loan purpose is very important. Then it will be easier for the bank to even place your request with the appropriate loan type. Okay. There are so many kinds of loans. I just mentioned that there are some temporary bridges and those bridges are usually covered by small overdrafts. The beauty of overdraft is that at the end of the day, it is what you have used that the interest will be calculated on. So a smart borrower that takes overdraft will make sure that my sales are coming in, so that the account is swinging into positive and negative. At the end, you're paying small. But for you to get overdraft, because it's also a very risky loan, because it can calcify. I'm sorry, I'm using banking terms, but that's it. Good, yeah. If it runs a whole 90 days, nothing happens, the bank will be running helter-skelter because the CBN will be on them to provision. Imagine taking money out of your own profit to now cushion and tell CBN. That's why banks ask for collateral. But it's not every loan, and it's not everybody that bank will ask for. When people hear collateral, they think it's go and bring your father's house. And no, there's so many different kinds of collateral. Your character is even a collateral. Your antecedents can be a collateral. And as a small business owner like this, the products you sell can be collateral. Your machines can be collateral. We just want to know how viable and how, if the bank wants to convert it to cash, how quickly can that be converted to cash. You can also get loans. There are so many. Almost every bank now has what is called SME loans. That's small business loans. And they usually package them as product papers, what we call product papers. So the criteria already stated. If you satisfy the criteria, they will give you. Those kind of things means that the bank has checked their risk appetite and said, okay, well, we can give this because if something goes bad, we don't pray that anything goes bad and we're unable to recover it, we can cushion this. Remember, the bank is giving you money that is swept from the street. These are monies belonging to you and I.
Don't forget that the banks, if they even pray, don't even pay the money. So the interest can be growing more and more.
No bank pays for that. That's a very wrong notion.
So people would believe that now, that is the reason why.
To pay so that
you don't pay, so that more interest can come, more money for them.
No.
Or so that they can even convert your collateral to make more money for themselves. They are business people, for goodness sake. We know that. Banks are there to make money, and they are doing business. And every businessman wishes there is to make profit. So what they do out there is to give you loan, and they even pray you don't even pay on time, or you don't even pay at all interest, or they convert whatever you drop as a collateral, more money for them.
That's absolutely false. The bank can only make more money when they give you, you pay back, so that they can give me. I pay back, they will give him. he pays back. So the money circulates. The bank is a highly governed business. If they give you loan and you don't pay, let me tell you what happens. If you don't pay and that loan calcifies, the bank, I've mentioned the word provisions. It means that the bank has to take out of its own capital, its own profits, appropriation, to cover that loan until when they, and now that's, remember the bank, like you said, is a business. The bank is in a business to make money for its stakeholders. There are people that have invested in that business. So if you think that the bank would allow you to take loans so that you won't pay, no, that's like saying that the bank, buys gun and keeps shooting itself on the leg. No bank wants to do that. The challenge that people have is this: people have different notions about loans. Like I said, they're not right. If you do not even understand why you need a loan, you will take the wrong type of loan. So that wrong type of loan will hurt you. Let's say you want to buy an asset like a car, and you go and take an overdraft. And now the overdraft you have taken, you didn't take into cognizance your cash flow. Some businesses have the times that money comes in. I mean, well, you're supposed to pay every month. You're charged your interest on overdraft. Let's say there's no money in your account. That interest will outgrow your account. The next thing you run, because that's one thing I found out about Nigerians. You now leave that account thinking you have taken a smart decision. It keeps compounding.
Seriously?
It will keep compounding, and it's hurting you. Next time you walk into another bank that you want to take a loan and they pull up your credit score and find out that you're a bad debtor, they'll tell you, go and clear your loan first. And even if you clear that loan, it will help, but the fact that you have owed before, that attitude already puts anybody looking at your documents again, the antenna is raised. So knowing the purpose of your loan and knowing will help you know the type of loan that you need. All loans are not for everything. When I said I had to borrow to augment my capital to set up this structure, right? I knew my cash flow. I also knew my projections. Look, I know that all things being equal, this is how my cash flow would grow. So I also had to check, what if these extra expectations don't happen? So I needed to do all that. And then because I'm versed in this, so I needed to check what my repayments would be like and plug it into my cash flow and see whether I still have enough to run the company. Even if you can pay, making that payment would affect the business negatively. It means that it's just a matter of time. The business will shut down. The loan will not even complete to pay it. You have to know why you need a loan. A lot of times people just say, I need a loan. What kind of loan? What are you doing with the loan? I want to put it in my business. What are you putting in your business? What do you want? As a designer, let's say you want to take a loan. What are you doing with the loan? If you're taking a loan to go and pay salaries, it's already a bad loan. Yes. Because it means that the business itself is not generating enough money to take care of its daily operations. Salaries are part of your operations. Yeah. If you're taking a loan to go and clear your NEPA bill that you have refused to pay, it's already bad from beginning.
The loan you took, what did it cost you to set up the structure?
Those are personal details I wouldn't want to put here, but let me just explain to you. So I knew the Bible says that, will a man start a building without first counting the cost? That's what the Bible says. So I knew I wanted to do this. And I knew this is how much I have. And this is how much I have, but I need this to augment. And while I'm augmenting this, I know I can generate this, finish up. It's now up to me to say, okay, at this period, all you're doing is you work, you push in the money. I went for a loan that the terms were agreeable. It had to be a term loan. Something that is going to run for a period of time. And I had to ask, I need it for how many years, number of years? Because I believe that in those years, I'll be able to pay down without stress. The other one is, should anything happen, because the bank has the right to also call in their loan. The bank can call in their loan.
Anytime.
Yes, they have the right.
Anytime.
But I know that Nigerian banks are very lenient as well. They won't call it on you if you're doing well. You understand? Yeah, and they don't even exercise that part of loan process a lot here. So I took what I needed. I took what I knew I could comfortably or with minimal stress. And then I made sure my processes were also in tune with generating the right level of cash flow to support. Because remember, this is just setting up a structure. So it's not like it's an asset that is not immediately cash generating. So the repayment for that loan comes from my daily operations. So that source of repayment must be strong. And that's why I talked about structure. So that's the time that you don't play around with your business. You know who, and as a designer, I need to take decisions. I'm a multi-product designer. I'm versatile. So I need to understand times and seasons. I need to understand which product can I use to block the market and get some cash flow. Do you understand? So those are all the thoughts that will go into your loan application. Banks give loan, commercial loan, banks give loan. And again, like I mentioned earlier, there are small business loans now. The DFIs, what we call DFIs, the development finance institutions, like the Bank of Industry, like the Development Bank of Nigeria, all those ones, they have funds that's created to support businesses. But because they are not deposit money taking banks, what I mean by deposit money taking banks is that the banks you work in, you have open accounts, you take they are not. So they can't lend to you directly because they don't have that capacity to do all the things that are required to check whether you're eligible. So they have to lend through these other big banks, the commercial banks. So those kind of funds are cheap, but there are criteria you have to meet to get them. And honestly, most times you can, if your business, if you have structured it well. There are loans for women-owned and women-led businesses. So let's say now you're married, you have a wife, and both of you are in this business, and she occupies an important position. Maybe she's the MD, and she's also a director on paper, not just she's an MD. Those opportunities would count because of the gender, the push for gender inclusion, you understand, and gender, increasing the number of women in C-suites, in authority in businesses. So there are so many loans for women. The problem is that many women don't even know. Women-owned, women-led businesses. Practically almost every commercial bank has a desk now for that. Yes. To support those businesses. So it's not easy for you as a smart businessman. Make sure you have gender roles in your company that support, that give you access to those kind of funding. But if you want to be the man, I'm the man, I own the company, I run the company, and the woman has no place in it, you miss out on those opportunities. And as your business grows, your loan requests will be changing. For example, Bank of Industry, they support businesses, but they'll support you in asset acquisition. Like if I want to expand now, to my other dreams about, facets of my function, I'll go and meet Bank of Industry and they will help me finance those assets. But for my working capital is the money you use to do business, every day. That's the capital that you need. Those ones, commercial banks can give you. And I want to tell you that no matter how expensive you say interest rate is, commercial banks have lower interest rates than these your fintechs.
Seriously?
And microfinance. Yeah, so let me explain to you. Let's say a commercial bank is charging you, let's say 31%. It's 31% per annum. So divide that by 12. That's how much it's charging you per month. But your fintechs, some of them charge you up to 4-5% every month, right? That's flat rate. 5% flat rate. So that 5% flat rate translates to 60% per annum because they are quick loan sharks. They are loan sharks. So they are nimble. They can easily grant you the loans. And that's why they can say, okay, bring your car papers, bring this, bring. Sometimes they don't even ask you for anything. You have salary and they're seeing it coming in. They just give you a portion of it. But they collect that money. So you spend more. So for businesses, I always say, if you want a proper loan, keep your books.
Keep your books.
Keep your books. Let the loan reviewer see that, okay, this, and remember at the beginning I said, your company must be separate from, we don't want to open your company account and we see hair, egusi, and all that. Do you understand? And you're not selling egusi, you're not selling hair. Do you know what I mean? So let the company's books be kept well. You, as a designer, maybe you bring in your fabric stock. We see it, we see the payment. And I always tell people, please, by all means, make all your payments and remittances through your account. Some small businesses go and withdraw money and be paying cash. No, pay the person through your account so that there's traceability. Is that way we will know that, okay, in a month, we can actually say, okay, in a month, this is how much your expenses run. And this is how much it comes in on the average. So we'll now check on the average, your receipts and your expenses, are they, then from there, that's how the bank would give you. For example, if you're asking for overdraft, I know banks which will say, okay, let's see your average for 6 months, your average credits for 6 months, and they'll check your average expenses. So they just check everything. If there's space, fine. And they'll tell you, okay, we can only give you, some banks say we can only give you 50% of that average or less. And no matter what, anybody is also giving you loan, they also want to make sure that you can't take more than 33.1% of your earnings, because it's not only loan that you'll be paying now. You run business, you pay salaries, you buy power units. If you have generator, you service it, you buy diesel or fuel. You have other expenses on a daily basis. So if you're not going to use 50% of your earnings to pay loan, it's wrong. That business will have problem. So that's it. So
for me now, or any person that is thinking, okay, because you listed some of them, but I want you to tabulate them in a more clearer form. I want to go to bank now, or any young person that wants to go to bank to get a loan. What are the major criteria required?
One, you must know your business. You must be able to explain your business to the lender. If you walk in and say, I want to take a loan, I'm going to ask you, okay, what do you do? What's your business into? How long have you been doing this business? Who are the owners of the business? I need to know the owners. Because if I see that in your ownership there are fraudulent people that have taken loans before and they had issues, they never paid, even though they are not the ones I'm seeing face to face, but they are part of the company, there's a red flag. And then I say, okay, what do you do? How much do you sell in a month? And it's not word of mouth. When you ask that question, we need to see your bank accounts, because it's your statements
that will show.
How many people work in the company? What do they do? I'm a designer now, how many people work? What's your monthly salary bill? How much? You understand all those little things? The bank will ask you, and then before the night, okay, so what do you want to use this loan for? So you must be clear about what you want to use the loan for. Okay, I want to use it to buy 2 machines. Buying 2 machines means business is growing and you need more capacity to meet that business. Fantastic. How many machines do you have presently? Remember, if I'm giving you money to add 2 machines, it means that I'm expecting that if you were making 1 naira before, then you should be making more.
Exactly.
Because you cannot put an asset without any yield coming from it. Okay, 2 machines, that's good. How many do you have presently? This is how much you're generating. So we expect that this one will generate, and you have to convince us. And when you buy 2 machines, that means you're employing 2 tellers to sit there, to run the machines.
Extra overhead.
Yes. So all those little things we're going to ask, and then when you have answered those ones, we'll now ask you, how long is it going to take you to pay back the loan? And how do you want to pay back the loan? Then before we now start doing your numbers, because based on your account statement, we will now do the calculations to check whether everything you have said in your mouth has to tally with what we're saying, because a company is seen from the bank statements, you understand? So if you meet all those, if the answer is check, positive, you get the loan. Sometimes you'll be okay for the loan, but the amount you're asking for will be too high for your cash flow. Statement. So the bank will say, this is how much I can give you now. Maybe you wanted to buy 2 machines, but what you can, comfortably pay
based on your account
will be 1. So the bank will say, okay, we can fund 1. And as a smart business person, you will take that 1 and use it and prove to the bank that I can run it out. The moment and always say, once you get any loan, use payback time. Once you pay, you're building your credit score. Take and pay. You're building your credit score and your loan muscle. Let me tell you one thing. If you as a small business now you come and you take small loan, you pay back, and you've been doing it for, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You've built character, you've shown character. It's a plus for you. Your credit score will be high, very nice. But if somebody that has never taken a loan and has been big, growing, using their equity, and you've done 20 years, 25 years, and then suddenly, 30 years, you suddenly come, say you need loan, and you've been running this business with your funds for a long time, my tentacles will be up, because I want to know why suddenly you need a loan. So I'm going to check, what do you need a loan for? Are you adding another business? But if that loan is operations, it means the business has tanked. Yeah, so I need to be very careful in lending to you at that time, because there is no track record of you taking a loan and paying back. So I need to, it's a risk for me at that time, because I
need to encourage taking loan then.
Oh yeah, that's why the bank is there. The bank is there to fund the deficit between those that have and those that do not have. Yeah, but we as much as the bank encourages you to take loan, you must take it for the right reasons. And you must have the capacity to pay back and the character to pay back.
Someone that's starting a business afresh, is the person encouraged to take loan?
I wouldn't advise that you go for a loan when you're starting out, because you need to put your equity. We call it your skin. Your skin, put your skin first in the business. I'm not even going to lend to you as a starter. There's only a condition where I will lend to you as a starter. That means you've been running another business and now you want to diversify into this new business. So when I'm lending to you, I'm not lending to you based on this new business. I'm looking at this one that you have been doing. That's where I'm going to depend on forever. So if this one qualifies for me to give you loan, I'll give you loan for this one.
The other one.
But this is where my number one focus for my repayment is coming from you. Do you understand? Yeah. So see loans as you and your friend. You know, there are people that are your friends or very good friends, but if they ask you for money, you'll find 1 million excuses why you cannot give them money. Same thing with the bank. But loans help, but you must take them for the right purpose and you must take the right type of loans. It will support your business. And for collateral, you mentioned collateral. Collaterals, there are different kinds of collateral. So as you always talk with your bank, not every loan will say, okay, give me a building. People think it's easy. The bank would rather lend to a business that can pay back. Do you know what it costs to process that building? The procedure to lay hold on the building. I'm not even talking of selling. The banks are not real estate companies, so they're not even interested in selling because it takes time. But there's a cost to registering that building. You go to Alausa or whatever land registry of the state where the building is to now put your charge, what we call a charge, that look, from now, this building belongs to me until my money is returned. Yes, that's so. The reason in this part of the world that it's building is because that's the only asset you will hold from us, that our eyes will open, that will fight, you know, to you heard of, I saw something on social media, I don't want to mention name, of a big man that they just took over the company, the property there. So that I talked about discipline is so important. So, and there are so many other collaterals. That's what we call third-party guaranteed. So you need to check with your bank, please, what are the options I have? Always ask questions. Ask. Third-party guarantee. So if somebody I know and the bank knows, the bank can trust, says, go ahead, I'm standing in. If this person doesn't pay, I will pay. And the bank trusts the person and the bank knows that they have a way of getting that money from the person. They will give you loan. In your small business, there's something called stock hypothecation. That your store that you have all those clothes, you know, they can come and take stock, your food, your camera, everything. You know, what's the value of this camera? Because if I put your camera out now on Jumia, it will sell. It's easily convertible to cash, right? So they can take that, some good assets. And they can also take what is called debenture on your company. Debenture simply means that it can be full debenture, asset debenture or whatever. So the bank takes charge on all the assets of the company until you pay. When you pay, they remove the charge. It's just that people are so, if you trust yourself and you have good intention with that money, that if I take it, I will pay, you will not be afraid to do those things.
You know, in this part of the world, things could happen. There are things they call force majeure that could happen to businesses and individuals. So that is the reason why people are scared of taking loans, because you do not know what to expect in the business world, and anything that could happen to disrupt your business. And knowing the fact that we come from this part of the world where the systems in place quite very, very strenuous, some people could see that challenging. So I guess that's one of the things that is scaring people when it comes to doing that decision.
Yeah, but what I always say is that taking a loan is the first step. Managing the loan is the second step and very critical part of it. Communication, you know, I talked about communication at the earlier part between you as the business owner and your customers. So you must communicate also with your banker, your lender. It's very important. If the business, you have projected that this business is going to be doing this, and you are seeing that this thing is not working out and I might run into trouble. The bank is not a Dracula now. The bank will always, because the bank is interested in making sure that your business stands so that they'll be able to collect their money back. So if you tell the bank that, see what is happening, please, I may not be able to meet my repayment obligation the way it is now. I tell you with every confidence that your bank will sit with you and restructure that repayment in a manner that will be convenient for you and also keep your loan as an active asset on their books. Yeah, okay, so when I started this building, right, remember, I started it, COVID happened. I had taken a loan. 3 months after I took the loan, COVID happened. I was still setting up the structure. We were on lockdown. Immediately, the news broke out. First thing I did I wrote my bank straight. I didn't even need to wait for, eventually, I said, no, I'm a bank. I wrote them straight that this is happening. And with this period till so period, I had to make a projection that we are not in operations. We're not open. So I would like my loan to be held till we start up. The bank honored it. Yes. The bank honored it.
So that means bank is quite flexible when it comes
to
things
but it's communication. That's why I say when I hear people say they owe this bank, they run to this bank. The bank is not a Dracula. That's why it's called banking relationship. You have a relationship with your girlfriend, won't you talk to her? If you're angry, won't you tell her that? If things are not ordering well, won't you tell her? You have a relationship with your wife, won't you tell her? It's the same way with your banker. You have a relationship with God, won't you tell God your needs? Even God that created us, that knows everything about us, said we should ask.
Can a single business owner be able to get a loan?
Why not? It's not you that's for your business. That's why I said your business should be separate from you.
And that's what I'm saying. Now, this person is the business is him. Can the person get a loan from the bank?
No, the business, if you're running a business.
Like a sole proprietor, that's what I mean.
A sole proprietor is a registered business as well. So as long as it's a registered business, if you say that means you're trading under the name of the company. So we're going to be looking at you, even though the company has its own. So that means the income and everything is mixed.
Yes.
So we're going to look at you. It's to separate. Okay, which income is coming from you? Which one is coming from this business? And then we'll now look at it. To determine whether you can get a loan. If anybody that applies for loan can get a loan, if you meet the conditions and if you present your need appropriately.
Let's come up from loan conversation a little bit. Let's come to pricing. How do you structure your pricing properly to ensure affordability and also still maintain quality?
So when it comes to pricing, I teach on pricing too. So pricing, you have to note there are variable costs, there are fixed costs, and there are variable costs. I'm a designer, so I bring in fabrics, tailoring materials. Those are consumables in the business, right? So the cost of thread today different from tomorrow. When I started this business, I remember we were buying thread at 80 naira. Today thread is over 1,000 naira. The cost of producing this shirt, I need to have the cost of the fabric, the cost of the buttons, the thread, because you might not use one full thread, so you have an average. Wages, that's something called tailors come under wages, right? So how much you pay each tailor is now broken down into time. How long did it take to produce this shirt? There's a portion of that earning, whether you break it down into per minute, per hour, you get the naira value, right? And then you have the other costs, your rent. If you're paying rent where you're producing, your rent in Nigeria, rent is usually per annum. Divide by 12, that's per month. How much is rent for that? You can break any figure down to per minute if you want. Then you have your power. You pay NEPA. All those NEPA you buy, you say you've recharged. You have your business. So how much NEPA have you consumed? There are costs, all those local government charges, blah, 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 that come in. There are costs that you will carry, whether you sew one cloth or not. Those costs are there. You have to break them into the number of pieces and all that. When you have put all those together, you get the cost of manufacturing this shirt. The profit you want to make now depends on you, what we call markup. So the markup you want to make depends on you. If you say, okay, I just want to sell fast, I will do 20% markup. Fine. But you must bear in mind that there are times that sales might not move on and you need to discount. Or maybe it's not even like sales are not moving, but things can come out that you want to discount and maybe you want to close this collection. So you want to sell off whatever is remaining. So your markup, in putting your markup, you must bear in mind that in those instances, when you're going to discount, you should not discount into loss. So when you're doing those things, you need to think of tomorrow. Like I always tell my people, whatever you're doing, you have to think of tomorrow. When you're writing, you write for tomorrow. You don't write for today. Those things add up to your prices. The cost of transportation to go and lift your fabric stock and everything. That boy or girl that you say, oh yeah, go and get this, go and get this. This costs. You're paying for transportation. And as a designer, I'm using myself, there's something called designer fee. You have a fee. A portion of you is inside every item that is manufactured because you're the one creating. So all those costs are so important for you to arrive at the real cost. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I go through social media and I see some lovely work, outfits made. And, I see the price there. I'm like, hello, how did they, arrive at this price? Because mentally I could say, okay, this is how much this price, at least this fabric costs, blah, blah. Didn't this person go to market to make it? Okay, the person doesn't have a workshop. Some people don't have workshops, so just give people to, you can be that kind of manufacturer. So you just create design and give to a manufacturer. Yeah. So if you give it a garment producer to produce for you, they charge you per item, meaning that has covered a whole portion of your overhead. Assuming that all you just do is just carry it and you post for those that are online and then you distribute. Even if you're using your house to do the business and you pay rent in your house, you must take a portion, take a portion of your rent and put it on your business. It's so important to calculate your costs very well so that you're not just selling. As people say, sold out. Oh, you clap for yourself, you sold out, but you find out that you can't proceed.
So you need to calculate every expense that it costs you running the business, put them together.
Every expense required to make this item. Because what is required to make this item would definitely be different from what is required to make what I'm wearing.
So it's not just about the material. It also include the fuel you bought in your generator, your rent, everything.
There are services.
The services.
Because machine has to be serviced.
The machine.
Yeah.
And did you talk about? You also mention depreciating asset? Because if you're using this machine,
of course,
now,
you're depreciating.
Because
your asset will be depreciating over
time. So you calculate the depreciating cost and put all of it together. The total sum will now determine how much you set as your price for that product. Yes,
because you need to cover your costs. You're selling because you need to recover the money you have put in to produce
that cost of all what you're spending or you spend. What percentage should go into the pricing of your product?
There's no fix. It all depends on you. That's why I say the markup you put. Maybe you want to just put 20% markup. Let's say the total cost comes to 25. Okay, let's use is it 5,000 naira? Okay. No, 5,000 is a lot because I see people that sell things below 5,000. So let's say it comes to 10 naira. The total cost. And you now want to add your markup, which is a profit you want to make. And you decide to do, okay, I want to do 20%. So 20% of 10 naira is what? That means you're not selling at 12 naira. If for any reason, maybe the collection, you didn't finish it, and you now want to do discount sale, do sale and all that, remember it's markup of 20% you put. Your discounts.
What about those that put markup of 100%?
It's all to the company. Now, a company can build, let me tell you, when you have built your muscle, your confidence in your brand.
Some even put 300% markup. I've seen people like that.
You can put 1,000, the big brands put over that.
Yes.
You understand? It's the confidence you have in your brand and the market.
Is it fair?
It's not about business. Is not about fairness. You must put that at the back of your mind.
So you can rip people off, and it's not
ripping off. It means if you say this thing is they are ripping me off at this price, it means that you are not the right audience for the. You're not their target audience. You can like and appreciate their products, but as at this time, you are not the audience that they are targeting.
I think goodwill and equity is also part of the costing, because if you have so much goodwill out there, that can also come down to the total pricing of what
goodwill comes in a valuation.
Yes.
It comes in the valuation of the company, right? Goodwill comes in valuation of the company. But once you look at somebody's item, I say, they're ripping me off. Is this fabric? Is it not this? You are not their audience. So don't badmouth the business. You are not their target audience. It's like you now saying, okay, LV is selling this wallet. Why are they selling this wallet? 8,000 euros. Just a wallet to just put something. You are not their audience.
So it's like putting this now. It's like the issue happening online when I don't know if you see Billboard and VGM was dragging price. VGM says it's 280 and Billboard says it's 450 for the same phone, the same production. So is it about target market or is it about being fair? Because
it's not about being fair.
This is not fair.
It's not up to him. Business. It's not up to him to determine what another businessman puts as his markup. It's not up to him.
But that's rip-off.
No, it's not a rip-off. Because this person's target audience can buy it at that price without looking back.
You're selling to the same people.
No, it's not the same people. We might all be in the same Nigeria, but we have so many strata of audience. Do you understand? My items I can't sell to students except somebody is buying for them.
Well, phone is general for everybody.
No, it's not general. If it's general, all of us will be in fact, we'll be prepaying. It's not general. There are things I can't spend on at this time because there are competing needs. And so at my level now, I need to consider the competing need.
This is the problem. This is why in some countries they regulate prices. Government try to regulate prices.
No, those are people. That's socialist economy.
Yes, that's socialist. So as a capitalist, is it your responsibility as a capitalist to ensure that you rip off people because you are a capitalist just to make an excess profit? That's what they call even the Bible. You believe in the Bible, and even the Bible will mention the fact that when you are selling for somebody, that it's not good to. There's a way the Bible. I'm just trying to paraphrase. That excess wage or excess collection, something like that, is not good. So why would you try to sell something for someone that you bought 5 naira? You bought this in 5 naira, and you're trying to sell it out and you sell it for 500 naira.
Okay, let me tell you something.
That affects the economy.
There's a scenario. Let's say now I'm in Lekki. I'm paying Lekki rent. You and I are in the same business. You're producing what I'm producing, and you're somewhere in Ugudu. Let me not even Ugudu. Maybe that's this place I went to, the Agege side. The rental price in that location cannot be compared with the rental price here. That alone already says that my overhead is higher than yours. We may be producing the same thing. Do you understand? So you can afford to say your own for 5 naira. But I can't. Because my cost of production is higher than yours by virtue of the difference in that just one entity. Cost entity. So when you come online and say, why is this person selling this? Their cost profile is different. You have somebody that where they are making the clothes, maybe they just put the machine in one corner and they are doing it. But you have people you have employed. You're running accommodation costs for them.
Paying lots of salaries.
Paying salaries, very good salaries. For example, my company, all staff are on HMO. All to security. They're all on it. And not just them. We also cover 2 of their dependents. Their dependents in our HMO policy. So, because many of these people are young, maybe they're not married, but they have their parents. And we tell you, give us who you want to be covered under the HMO, but we take 2. We'll grow to taking 4. Because I'm a parent as well. So I can imagine the joy. Your mom is ill and they call you. Because as much as you think that these people are doing, so many of them are the ones carrying their families. Their mother is sick, they will call them. Their father is sick, they will call them. So imagine your mother is sick. And all you do is, okay, mommy, please go to this hospital. because the HMOs usually have hospitals all over the state. This is the nearest hospital. Go there and they get treatment and they don't pay. And they say, oh, now my workplace, they pay them. The joy can extend the lives of those people.
Yeah, true.
The ones that are married, your wife is pregnant, you should just go and be getting her prenatal care. Right? It's not like it's easy for us. Let me tell you, every business would rather not carry those costs. But you also need that, because it's only a healthy person that can produce a good result. So we take that into cognizance. And we say, okay, everybody is unhealthy, we give you health insurance. When they are ill, it also helps us, know when they are truly ill. Because anybody can claim, I'm sick today. So if you're sick, you go to the hospital.
You go to the hospital.
And the doctor, we know that you visited the hospital.
We know. Yeah.
So those are costs that the business is carrying. Would the business not cover it?
What you shared here is quite quite disrupting a little bit when it comes to how people see business processes, especially when it comes to managing the business, taking loans and running the overhead costs and then putting the right pricing. Because if I'm trying to put a particular price on a particular product and someone looks at it and say, oh, both of us are running the same thing, we are selling the same thing, the same product, everything looking the same, why will your own price be this ridiculously high? Because I saw someone online saying that I bought something at 70,000 naira. When I went somewhere and I saw it at 10,000 naira, I'm mad. Why would I buy something 70,000? No, but it happens to me as well. Why would I buy something at a particular price somewhere, go somewhere else and see it as a ridiculous price? Maybe in the same jurisdiction, the same area, the same environment. Are you going to tell me that it's because you just decide? No, I see that as a rip-off. Some people just take advantage of people. There are instances where people take advantage of people. Or there are instances where you talk about, okay, maybe because of the overhead. Like if I rent on a hotel on the mainland and they give me water there, 100 naira, 500 naira, 300 naira, and I come to Eco Hotel and they give me water, 5,000 naira. I know the difference, the overhead, different. But if there's hotel at Eco Hotel, and there's another hotel close to Eco Hotel, both of them are there running the same business, and Eco Hotel is doing 5,000 naira water, and the other hotel they're doing 1,000 naira. Eco Hotel is a rip-off, for goodness sake.
It's not a rip-off. There's something called brand equity in your cost. What he has taken Eco Hotel to become the Eco Hotel it is a cost. It's not a rip-off. That's why when you travel abroad, you have the same items. You have dollar stores. You have dollar stores that used to sell, $1 for this. You go there, you buy cheap things. You go to maybe a Target or a Walmart. You get those things, right? You also go to the next brand. You go to the mall. You see that same item or what looks like that same item on a different brand. Let me tell you something, like the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup all of us are carrying, So if you go to a Target or a Walmart, you see the price. If you go to those other discount stores like Ross, you see a different price. Their costs are not the same, and the brand equity is not the same. There is a cost that big brand you're seeing has carried for years and is carrying to maintain that brand. That's a cost. So all the investments you're making in your business is to build a name. There is a cost to that name. And that name is what brings the profit.
Now, which is better? Is it doing one single product at a high price to sell, or doing lots of products and sell at a little price, discount price for everybody?
It depends on what your outlook is. If it's not about, even if you're doing multiple products, each product has its cost. I do multiple products. I do jeans. I do couture. I do ready to wear.
Some people do bespoke, clearly.
Yes, they just do bespoke. So that one, they have their price. If you're coming to make this is it. But when you're running, I do, couture, bespoke. I do ready to wear. Even in my jeans products, because this is a whole segment of my business, right? I do denims of different sizes, and all that. There are denim pants you want to buy from us. And we'll tell you this one is 300K. And we're like, why can I buy jeans? Sorry. We know how the fabric is sourced. We know the complexity of the design. Those are some of the things that add to cost. The cost of the consumables in the design, the things they're using, the complexity of the design, the hours it takes to produce that design, the number of labor, the hours. Because the opportunity cost is that I could have used that time to also do some other things. So cost is something that you need to, and you can't place everybody under the same bracket of cost. Each business has its cost and will recover it.
How do you continually stay updated with trends?
The world is so much easier now because of social media. We're highly interconnected. Once something drops somewhere, it's circulating, right? But as much as you have to be updated with trends, how you apply it to your business also matters. I said before, it's not every trend you jump into, right? The social media helps, and you also have to read a lot. Sometimes it has already trended in America and Europe before it gets here. Yes, but if you're connected as a business person, you should be connected to the sources of information in your industry. If you're connected, information will flow to you better. There are so many ways, subscriptions to magazines and news media in your industry, they help. And involvement in some of these things that we do, like go for shows, agencies and all that, it helps. So that would help you also fit in. But again, something about trend. Every trend is not for you. I've said it before. Even as they are happening, your market, what trend suits your market? If everybody is going naked in America, what proportion of your buying population where you are wants to go naked? Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to fit all that into reality of your market. Yeah.
Now, I want us to start rounding off now. And one of my final questions I want to ask you is, when you see a fashion designer that is coming into the industry afresh and is thinking of what should be the best angle the person should face, what do you suggest?
It's very difficult to suggest to the person, but I can only counsel. Because if you're coming into the market, there is something that's bringing you in. There is something that's driving you. There's something in mathematics, we always you start from the known to find the unknown. I studied maths and computer science. So there's something If it's making shirts that right? Come in through that shirt, but make sure you do it so well that it will bring people to you.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True.
Usually it's customers that expand the business. It's customers that expand your business. It's the market that expands your business. You're doing shirt, and someday somebody says, I like this. Can you make trousers for me? You didn't plan to make trousers. But it's not just that person. 1, 2 people, 3, 4, 5. You're like, this is becoming a demand on me. So you start. You're adding products. That's how products are added. That's how products are added. So come in with what you know. Do it so well. Focus on it. So that you open the market. When the market comes, they see your skills. The market will tell you whether you need to diversify into other things. You understand? So I would only counsel, and I always tell people, when you start, when you come in, don't look at, this is what this person is doing. This is what this. No. Everybody has his or her calling. Focus. There's nothing as wonderful as being focused. It might take time, but because focus will help you, improve your skills on it, until you become so good in it that it cannot be denied. Even the Bible says the vision is for the appointed time. Though it might tarry, wait for it. So wait for it. And don't wait for it sitting idle. Wait for it, improving your craft, improving your marketing. I'm not very outgoing. I'm actually a shy person. So what I cannot do, I know there are things I know. I will hire people to do them for me. And when I say I'm shy, I know people don't believe it. But my bosses know that me, I can do anything outside of the camera. But, the business, they're shocked now that they see me on camera, So learn what suits you. Don't go on social media because you've seen people dancing, dancing that you now follow them to dance. You look like somebody that is.
That's what you're selling now. They sell.
It doesn't sell for everybody. Like your dancing will not make me buy now. I don't understand. The person that you saw dancing, maybe that's what her customers like. Is it me now? I will not come out now and be dancing. I don't even know how to dance. I'm sure I'm going to get so many calls. That what is happening?
Not up on
So know what works for you, and you will discover what works for you. Start, focus on that thing that brought you in. Make sure you improve your craft so well that it cannot be denied. That somebody will say, there's one young girl. I bought a shirt from her. My gosh, that shirt was so good. I'm going to order more. And when they order more, keep the consistency. The consistency. Because if you fail, they'll go.
Apart from social media, what are other ways you generate customers that people can get customers consistently to increase their sales?
There are different ways now. The best way that takes you out quickly is word of mouth recommendations. Because if I trust him, and he tells me this person is good, I'm going to try. That's just the natural human, process of doing things. But because you're not going to just sit down and wait for recommendations, that's why we have advertisements. You advertise. Social media allows you to advertise. No matter how much we all cry that Meta is not doing as they promise, there are other ways. When you see people do trade fair, but check, first of all, what do you want to achieve from that trade fair? Because some people, before you pay for trade fair, check the cost of the trade fair and check the items that you're selling. Are they things that if I take them to trade fair, I would easily sell? And at what price? Will I be able to recover that cost? So those are avenues of, because the more visibility you actually have, the more people see your product.
Yeah.
You can sponsor events in your church. Some churches do even fairs. You can advertise in your church bulletin for the Catholics, Anglicans and all that. You can host your people. You can do what we call, close groups to show your work. Every show does not need to be big. You can just host them. But for whatever step you want to take to push your business, bear in mind that you must spend money.
So it's not possible to start with zero capital?
How do you want to start with? There's even nothing called zero capital. Zero capital means you're not doing anything. You're not starting anything. There's no business.
People say they start their business with zero.
It's not possible. How did they? You can trade on other people's money. That's capital. The capital is your network. Like, I want to start selling this shirt. I have no money. I'll go to you that you're selling it. I say, give me these 3. If I sell, I return the money to you.
Okay.
That's using your network. That's your capital. Because when you go and he says, okay, the price is 5,000, and you go and you sell 7,000, you pocket 2,000, you return his 5,000, you come back again, and as you save it up, it becomes something that you can then say, okay, I now want to carry and start selling as my own.
So capital doesn't necessarily mean money. It mustn't be money.
It's not money alone. Your network. You heard the statement, your network is your capital. Yes, the people you have in your network. So what quality of people do you have in your network? It also matters. The network is your capital. Yes. And you can build network from everywhere, from your school days, schoolmates, alumni groups, your church, everywhere. That club that you go sometimes, you don't just go as an idiot you go there and you open your eyes and know the right people to connect to. You understand? So
How do you handle customer complaints and bad reviews?
for my company, I don't joke with customers. I want to hear from my customer. I feel it's a big privilege for my customer to tell me how they feel.
Even if they are very irate.
Oh yeah, especially when they are not happy. If my customer is not happy and tells me, I cherish that customer. Because the other option is to keep quiet and walk away. So if they tell you they are happy with you, but they're not happy with whatever has happened, they value you. Every feedback is for your progress and growth. And so I don't joke with that. And that's why if a customer says, oh, this, and I look at it, I have done it several times. I'll just order a new production. Even if it's so late, like I said, capital is also your network. Sometimes I'm like, DHL will not take this thing there on time. I'm going to announce to my whole entire network who is traveling. Who is traveling. Even if it's another state you're arriving, please take it there for me. Right at the airport, please put it UPS. I'll pay. I'll take the cost. I'll bear that cost to make that customer happy. And my customers can attest to that.
Even if it's just unnecessary cost. Let's say you did everything the customer wants and the customer still came back with a different form of complaint that doesn't necessarily belong to what you did.
Customer is always not right. But because, you want to retain that customer, right? Sometimes it might not even be to produce another thing. Calm down. You can give what is called stock credit. Just like with your next order, I'm going to take off this. Stock credit. It's still a win for you. However, it does not mean that every customer relationship must be kept. Oh yeah. Like in business. I worked in bank. And there are customers that will wear you out. Even the management will say, close your account. Close the account and issue you your bank draft. Go to another bank.
What point should you get to before you do that?
When the energy you need to serve 20 people is not what you're spending on one person that is not even generating commensurate return.
You experienced that?
Oh yeah, and I've done that as well.
How did it happen? What happened before you say, in short, this thing, I'm not doing it again?
There are people that don't know what they want, truthfully. And there are people that depend on external validation so much that until somebody else says, oh, he's fine, before they believe. Like, I remember when I started, somebody I respect so much. When I say respect, this is a kind of person you say, okay, he's a big person and all that. I said that one day, make this for me. Actually came to my studio. I pulled the fabrics in my store so that she can pick the one she wants. She picked this fabric. I made the outfit perfect. And then suddenly she now said, oh, it's a branded fabric. It's a branded, I don't do brands. I said, I pulled all the fabrics. And you looked at it and you chose this one. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't want issues. Igbo people will say, it's not the day a child throws away oil that he's flogged. So it might just be a day he kicks the bottle of water. Yeah. So if this person has been stressful, you also need to manage stress for your workers. Because sometimes it might get to a point where everybody is afraid of, I don't want to be the one that will do this person's job. Because it's a creative work. Once you are not settled in your mind doing that work, you're going to make errors. So you want to minimize that occurrence. So sometimes you have to sacrifice that relationship for the company to move forward. And this person says, oh, no, I'll refund my, immediately I say, please send your account number right now. I refunded. And I produce other things. And the person will say, oh, I like this, I want to buy. And I'll just tell you it's sold out. Because I don't want to deal with you anymore. I need to conserve my energy and conserve the energy of my people.
Yeah,
you know, so that we can work for those that are truly appreciate what we do.
Now, finally, to you, what does success mean to you?
For me, success is not a point. It's not a thing. It's not. Success is me waking up every day and knowing that I can still do the things that make me happy. I wake up in the morning and I know that Nonnistics is still existing despite all odds. I wake up and I know that I'm going to meet my wonderful staff and we're going to banter today. And for me, success is about me succeeding and helping other people. I love to. And every prayer I make every day is a God, please please help me, give me more. Because I always enjoy when I'm able to help someone. I think I'm more joyful than the person, because I feel like, oh God, thank you. At least today you've used me. It's not a point. It's not how big I have become. It's not how small. By God's grace, we always pray to grow. It's about doing those things that will make God happy and make me happy.
Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. You shared so much wisdom. Is there something you may have in mind that you may want to say or share that I didn't ask, or someone maybe watching and itching want to ask you?
I really can't think, but one thing I would say is that life is about times and seasons. When the season is not favorable, hang in there. It's not always going to be merry. Don't think that the other person has it all together. All lizards are lying flat on the ground. Nobody knows the one that has stomach ache. When you have that at the back of your mind, you will manage your problems better.
Wow.
Now, I always tell entrepreneurs, please equip yourself with knowledge. You might be the happening person now. Don't get stuck in that euphoria. Open yourself up to knowledge. Learn as much as you can. I love to learn. I don't care if the person I'm learning from is inside the gutter. I want to learn.
You want to learn, yeah.
It's the knowledge that matters. Because when you get that knowledge, nobody's going to ask you, oh, was it from gutter you learned it? No. What the world is going to say is that, oh, she has the knowledge. When I go for my shows, that's one thing I enjoy. When you hear the stories of even the big brands, you're like, oh my God, so they also have this kind of issues. So don't ever think that you're alone in that situation. Improve. Don't be fixated. There's something called pivoting. Learn to pivot. That you started off doing this shirt does not mean that you cannot pivot to making pants or making watch. If that is where you go to and the market is resonating with it, why don't you try? 2020 taught us a lot of things. We're all at home. It wasn't a time to make big clothes. Every cash you have, everybody was conserving it. You need to pivot. I remember then I pivoted. I did lounge, and then being smart to know what to call your stuff to market them. I remember I did some lounge stuff for families, and I was so surprised at the response. Families were ordering as families, like 10, 11, everybody, So learn, be open to ideas, be open to opportunities, be open to trying new things, acquire as much knowledge as you can, and thankfully the internet is a repository of knowledge. Use it wisely. Don't use your data to talk rubbish on social media. It might come back to haunt you.
Okay, then you can share, people can reach out to you, buy anything from you whatsoever, or courses, or follow you on social media.
So, by the way, again, I represent Nonnistics. And you can follow us on social media for our female wears. Our women's wear is at Nonnistics, NONNISTICS _ at Nonnistics _. For men is at Nonnistics _ men. And my page, if you want to follow me for coaching, is at Nonye Goodie-Obi.
Yeah. At Nonye Goodie-Obi.
Yes, that's my page. To buy things from us, you can buy from all our channels. You can order from our WhatsApp. The link is in our bio in Instagram. You can order from our Facebook. You can order from our website, www.nonnistics.com. You can call in and make your order. We have people that just call and say, this is what I want, and then we'll take your details. So we'd love you to follow us. Even if you're not buying, just follow us and say, oh my God, I love your pieces. Yes.
Thank you so very much once again. I sincerely appreciate it. You shared so much gems, more than I anticipated.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. So that is it, guys. Thank my very powerful erudite guest and creative guest, Nonye Good Luck, or Nonye Goodie-Obi.
Nonye Goodie-Obi. Nonye Goodie-Obi.
So, Nonye Goodie-Obi. So thank you very much for watching. So first time of coming to the channel, like, share, and subscribe so that those who find this valuable will also engage with it. Thank you once again for watching. I remain your very host, Benzik, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers.